Hey guys, Caleb here. Yesterday, actually, I went 4-1 at a box tournament, and I got $45 in store credit, and I'll be sharing with you guys a deck list I took there to top the event, get top 4, and how would I improve it. I encourage everyone to stick around, because in my opinion, I have some pretty unique things in the main deck and side deck that isn't very conventional, so it's not going to be just another cookie cutter you can predict every card list. So starting off the non-engine, because that's what people really care about, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Droll, 3 Fua, 3 Perulia. Before I was playing 1 Perulia, I got my hands in the other 2, I decided to throw them in. They were pretty good for me. I think I got 2, maybe 3 draws off Perulia all day. But with, excuse me, with Ryzeal dominating like the top 4 spots, 3 of them were Ryzeal variants. So with so many Ryzeal decks and other decks that are just spam from the hand, having Perulia is good because it forces them to use an Ash or Droll on themselves or on their turn. Fua as well usually gets stopped or played around, but just having the cards make it so your opponent has to draw that out, and then they can't use that out on your turn to disrupt you. Ash is also pretty mid, but you need the Ash to stop these other cards. And Droll is Droll. Now it doesn't just stop Mitsurugi, it stops most of the new decks that come out that you could see pop up, and just very good in general. So going into the Mitsurugi portion, I'm not going to spend too long on this. 3 Haba, 1 Murakumo, Saji, Kusanagi, Night Sword, no Aramasa. That's what I'm talking about. Playing Night Sword over Aramasa, because I want you to think, if you play this deck, I want you to think when the last time Aramasa search actually came up. And I hear the argument all the time, well, I won a game because I normaled Aramasa and I got the search off. Well, if I played 3 Magic Cylinder, or even just 1 Magic Cylinder, I'd win a game every once in a while because of it. That doesn't mean it's good. Doesn't mean searching Redundant Habakiri is good. Excuse me. Having a Night Sword allows you to play better into Droll. It allows you to extend further because you have an extra level 4. Because before I was playing this, many times, I'd be like, man, I could or sloop them if I had 1 more body. I could play around Nib if I had 1 more body. I could make Duo if I had 1 more level 4. So Night Sword, I don't want to hear Armas is a fake card, bad card in this deck, unless you're playing Pure. Then the 1 Ritual, 3 Prayers. In my opinion, this card's going to get limited in the next ban list, or at least semi-limited, because being able to play around hand traps and extend infinite is not okay. To the other non-engine, I forgot to mention, Imperm, Nib. These cards are pretty decent. Imperm is better than Nib. Nib, most decks either just play around it completely, play through it effortlessly, or they just don't care. So having Nib, it's more of a cross-out target, which you'll see. But it's good to have in other combinations. But opening like Nib, or just Nib, it'll never get you there in this format. So in the future, I think Nib counts will continue to decline. Playing the power spells, Crossout, Talents, Called By. These cards are all busted. They're limited for a reason. These cards being able to stop Nib, Charmies, whatever, this to punish your opponent for playing Nib and Charmies, it's really good for no reason. Econ, this is my 40th card. In theory, it's really good. I think I'll cut it. I really like the card, but I think there's just better options. Whether it's another Imperm, a Bell, Mourner, whatever it may be. Onto the Ryzeals, pretty standard. 2 Ice, 2 X, Sword, Star, Node. They're pretty standard. People in the Fiendsmith Mitsurugi Ryzeal, they cut the Star sometimes, which I don't agree with. Like, being able to X alone, playing around Nib completely, is super degenerate. Like, having access to the cross, even if your duo gets negated. Like, if you open X, like, if you go into Duo Drive, and you have Ice in hand, and they stop it, Star being able to, or Ice summoning Star, to get to the cross anyways is super helpful. Then the cross, Bonfire, and Prosperity. Bonfire, cross, not much to talk about. Prosperity, it's another consistency card because I'm not playing Tachyon. It came up a few times where at the very least it baits out Ash, so stuff like your Bonfire can resolve. And you can Prosperity, if you have a way to play through Droll already, not too concerned about it. Prosperity for 6, you can add Crossout or Called By, so if they do draw you on the resolution, well, it doesn't matter. Onto the side deck. 3 deck lockdown. I think more people should be playing this card. GG, Bargio, shout out to him. He was talking about playing this. It's just really degenerate. I won a couple games because of this card. Like, you go first, and you just slap these down. It's like, well, have Lightning Storm, Harpies, or a way to stop it. Like, do something about it, right? And at the very worst, they open X as an aggregator. If you don't have a cross or don't want to use your cross on the aggregator to negate this, you use an aggregator to negate, and they X'd can't search. So you're basically getting 2 disruptions out of this card, and they have to draw an out for it. One, Storm. I talked about in my last video playing more of these. I don't know, sometimes you can Featherstorm your opponent, because what happens sometimes, if you go first, they're siding in a 3 Fua, 3 Perulia, 3 Droll, all this stuff. And if they use one of those cards on you, and you just go Castel, Featherstorm, pass, you can very well still lose. If they Drolled you, and you have to use all your resources to make Castel, Featherstorm, it's like, you're not getting there. You have to have Featherstorm on top of a decent board, or at least really good follow-up. And so this isn't quite as auto-win as people think, but it's still a very good card. 2 Bell, it didn't really come up for me, but against like the mirror match against Fiendsmith, that goes in. It's pretty good. Being able to have Mirakumo from summoning back, Raigeki your board, gets rid of the hand rip, the body, and the Raigeki. So it is very solid. We would continue to play. 1 Judgment. I had an open slot. It's like, I think I'll take it out for another going second card, because I already have the deck locked down, plus the Featherstorm, plus the rest of what you'll see for going first. So another going first card may not be necessary. Feather Duster. That's pretty good, actually. Even against like Mitsurugi Ryzeal, being able to just Duster, get rid of their set prayers, getting rid of their set prayers or the cross, or both usually, it really limits their interruptions and their follow-up, especially if you get rid of the prayers set. That's the main concern. That's why I started in against Mitsurugi Ryzeal. 3 Lancia for Malice. Played against 1 Malice. I actually drew it, I think. It's still pretty good. Before I was playing Chaos Hunters, other cards to beat Malice. But I think this deck is powerful enough with things like Bell, Featherstorm deck lockdown to beat Malice, even if you don't see anti-Malice specific cards. But playing 3 Lancia is still a to swap in for the Jewels. You play Night Match, still very solid. 3 Thrust. 3 Thrust gets you to, I'll show it now, a Dark Ruler plus Feather Duster or Featherstorm, depending on situation, and get you to Talons, like set Imperm at the very worst if you go first. Excuse me, I'm getting over a sickness right now. In the future, I may cut 1 Talons and put in another Feather Storm or another Dark Ruler, probably Lightning Storm, to be honest. So you have 2 Talons, or going second, you have Talons, Dark Ruler, Harpies, Lightning Storm. So you have, 5 cards. They're specific board breakers, 5, 6. That's aside for the extra deck. It's not really sorted here, but pretty standard. 2 Duo Detonator. You need to play 2 Duo. Comes up a lot. Yeah, sends off, Aggregator, the Twins. I should be playing 2 Twins probably. I only have the 1. I don't know where the other one is. It didn't come up yesterday, but it does come up if you have a Twins Engrave with like Detonator, and then on your like turn 3, you just send another Twins. That Twins summon back Detonator, attach this one. Detonator, attach another Twins or whatever. It can't come up, so if you have to, play 2. At Dynamundo, I might cut this. It never came up yesterday. Dynamundo is really only crazy if you have IP, or I guess if you go second, because if you can go IP on your opponent's turn, IP into Dynamundo, shuffle back one of their cards, then Raigeki them with the Mirakumo Grave. It's pretty strong. But usually, if you're playing with Ryzeals, no Diddy, and your Xyz locked at that point anyways. So going IP into Dynamundo in the Ryzeal variant isn't really that realistic. I cast out for the Featherstorm, and this card is actually pretty good, even if you don't have the access to Featherstorm. Except for Drew Swarm or something that floats in the graveyard and some stuff back, you don't want that. So if you can just cast out, shuffle back one of their cards, like I said, like Drew Swarm, something that floats, then it is super, super nice. Dugaris, Exiton, Baguska, Ouroboros, Cowboy, and Tornado. These are like the generic level 4s. You don't have to play all these. The only ones that are really necessary are, let's see here, these 3. These 3 are kind of all just flex spots. Same with the Dynamundo. Play any generic level 4s. This should be a Eclipse Twins. I left it in, especially at locals. A lot of combo decks. People play a little bit slower. No offense to anyone. But having Cowboy, you can just win you a match. Like if you win a match every 2 locals you play at, or like 1 or 2 matches at a regional, Cowboy is like the MVP at that point, because you win. Like Cowboy can win you a whole match. If you play Nib at 3, it might win you a game or 2 per local, but this will win you a match. So that's why I really, really like that card. Then we got Feral Imps to bridge Ryzeals into the Mitsurugi cards, and the Typhon. This is another flex spot. Typhon just really solid. It won me a game or a match actually, because they had like a random body plus Desiree with the sequence scope too. Excuse me. And just summon Typhon. Non-target bounce back the Desiree so it doesn't get the send swing. Like, it's just super solid. So that's the deck profile. Let me know in the comments what you guys think.